Why luxury feels effortless and how it's engineered that way. There's a reason true luxury feels effortless. Not impressive, not dramatic, effortless. You walk into the room. The lighting already feels right. The temperature is comfortable. The service appears exactly when needed and disappears when not. Nothing feels rushed, nothing feels forced, and most importantly, nothing feels like work. That feeling is not accidental. It is engineered. Luxury environments are designed around one central principle: remove friction before the guest notices it. Standard hotels react, luxury anticipates. The difference is invisible, but psychologically profound. Anticipatory service, elite hospitality now uses predictive systems, guest preference dashboards, behavioral pattern recognition, AI-assisted personalization. If you prefer quiet rooms away from elevators, it is remembered. If you order herbal tea at night, it appears without request. In the world of behavioral economics, there's a powerful yet subtle concept at play. It's called a nudge. Coined by Nobel laureate Richard Thaler, a nudge isn't a command or a restriction. It's a gentle push in a beneficial direction, a subtle alteration of the environment to make a better choice, the easier choice. Think of it as choice architecture, the careful design of the context in which people make decisions. It doesn't take away your freedom to choose. It simply makes the path of least resistance the wisest one. This isn't about forcing a hand, but about guiding it with an almost invisible touch, steering behavior without overt instruction. It is, in essence, a decision guided before it becomes a conscious decision. Our minds operate on two systems. One is fast, automatic and intuitive. The other is slow, deliberate and analytical. Nudges work by appealing to that first automatic system. They bypass the exhaustive process of weighing pros and cons, tapping directly into our subconscious heuristics, the mental shortcuts we use every day. The choice feels instinctual, natural, almost preordained. The environment is engineered so that your intuitive reaction aligns perfectly with the optimal outcome. It's a conversation with the subconscious, a whisper that's more effective than a shout. And when this happens, satisfaction rises. But here's the paradox. It rises not because you feel you chose well, but because you didn't have to choose at all. We live in a world saturated with options, a state that often leads to what psychologists call decision fatigue. The mental energy required to constantly evaluate and select is draining. It creates anxiety and a lingering fear of missing out on a better alternative. True luxury, then, isn't about providing infinite choice. It's about providing the choice preemptively. It's the profound relief of having a need met before it's even fully formed in your mind. The data supports this unequivocally. Studies in the hospitality sector show that this kind of anticipatory service can increase guest satisfaction by nearly 30%. This significant leap isn't achieved by adding more amenities or more options to a menu. It's achieved by removing friction. When a hotel remembers your preferred room temperature, or a streaming service queues up a film based on your viewing history, it's executing a perfect nudge. It's demonstrating a deep understanding of your preferences, transforming the service from a transaction into a relationship. This is the core of engineered effortlessness. The ultimate sophistication is simplicity. The goal is not by adding more, but by intelligently taking away. It's about curating the experience down to its most elegant and intuitive form. The most memorable moments of service are often the ones we don't notice at all. The seamless transitions, the absent complications, the quiet hum of a system designed entirely around our comfort. It is achieved by reducing effort, by clearing the path so completely that the journey forward feels as natural as breathing. The brain and cognitive fatigue. The human brain is not designed for endless micro-decisions. Travel normally increases cognitive load. Where to eat, what to wear, where to go, when to move. Decision fatigue accumulates, the lateral prefrontal cortex tires, impulse control declines, emotional regulation weakens. Luxury engineering counters this. It removes unnecessary decisions, it automates preference, it orchestrates flow. So your cognitive energy is preserved. Invisible system design. At the highest level, systems are hidden. At Royal Mansour in Marrakesh, staff move through underground tunnels. At Aman Properties, service choreography is silent. Maintenance audits happen before problems appear. Guests never see effort. They only see outcome. This invisibility increases perceived competence. Because visible effort implies strain. Invisible effort implies mastery. There is a psychological principle called processing fluency. When something is easy to process, we perceive it as more valuable, more truthful, more refined. Cluttered environments increase strain. Clear, minimal environments increase fluency. Luxury leverages this. Open spaces, intuitive layouts, soft lighting gradients. The brain processes these quickly and associates the ease with quality. Friction is the invisible force that works against intention. It's the grit in the gears of an otherwise smooth experience. And with every encounter, it erodes the most valuable asset any brand has: trust. It's not a single catastrophic failure, but a slow, steady accumulation of minor annoyances, a death by 1,000 cuts. Every delay, no matter how brief, plants a seed of doubt. The user begins to question the system's reliability. Is it working? Did my request go through? This momentary uncertainty is a cognitive tax, forcing the user to expend mental energy on the process rather than the outcome. Every miscommunication, whether between staff or between the system and the user, creates a fracture in the perceived competence of the service. When the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing, the guest is caught in the middle, forced to become a project manager for their own experience. And every unnecessary step, every redundant question, communicates a fundamental lack of respect for the user's time and intelligence. It signals a system designed for its own convenience, not for the person it's meant to serve. This is the architecture of frustration. The cost of this friction is quantifiable and severe. In digital design, the data is unforgiving. Studies by Google and Amazon have proven that even a 1-second delay in page load time can reduce engagement and conversions dramatically. The human brain is wired for immediacy. A lag feels like a broken promise. This principle extends directly into the physical world. In hospitality, visible friction, a long queue, a frantic search for reservation, a staff member who seems unsure, broadcasts inefficiency. It reduces the perceived competence of the entire operation, turning an anticipated pleasure into a public chore. True luxury, then, is not about adding more, but about taking away. It is the rigorous, almost obsessive practice of friction removal. It is a proactive discipline. Luxury eliminates friction before it ever has a chance to accumulate, anticipating needs before they are even felt. The front desk is bypassed entirely. Check-in happens in-room, transforming an administrative task into a moment of personal welcome. The room doesn't wait to be configured. It adapts instantly. Preferences are preset, recalling your desired temperature, your favorite music, the exact lighting you prefer. Departure is not a sequence of logistical hurdles. Transportation is seamless, a car appearing at the precise moment it's needed, with everything already in its place. This is the feeling of engineered effortlessness. You move through space without resistance, each step anticipated, each need met before it is voiced. The environment bends to you, not the other way around. This is the silent, invisible work of true luxury. The result feels sophisticated because frictionless systems signal control. Choice architecture. Standard hotels overwhelm guests with options. Luxury narrows options intelligently. Curated menus, pre-selected recommendations, tiered personalization. This reduces cognitive overload while preserving autonomy. You feel free, but not burdened. That balance is intentional. Environmental psychology. This field, once the domain of architects and urban planners, has become a cornerstone of modern luxury. It operates on a simple yet profound premise. Our surroundings are not passive backdrops. They are active participants in shaping our physiological and psychological state. The most sophisticated luxury spaces are no longer defined merely by what you see, but by what you feel, or more accurately, what you're feeling. The anxiety, the tension, the subtle but persistent state of high alert that characterizes modern life. These elite environments are meticulously engineered for nervous system regulation. Every element is a carefully calibrated tool designed to shift the body from a state of sympathetic activation, the fight or flight response, to one of parasympathetic dominance, the rest and digest state. This isn't about simple comfort, it's a form of biological communication, a dialogue between the space and your subconscious. The goal is to create an atmosphere of profound safety, signaling to the deepest, most ancient parts of your brain that you can finally lower your guard. This process begins with light. Circadian lighting systems are a prime example. They don't just illuminate a room, they replicate the natural spectral journey of the sun. The gentle, warm tones of dawn gradually transition to the crisp, blue-biased light of midday, which enhances focus and alertness. As evening approaches, the system automatically shifts back to amber and red hues, signaling the brain to begin producing melatonin. This regulation of our internal clock directly influences everything from our mood to our metabolic health. Then there is the element of sound, or rather the curated absence of it. Advanced sound dampening goes far beyond simple insulation. It involves creating a sound envelope using specialized materials in walls, triple-glazed windows, and even acoustic underlays beneath the flooring. The goal is to eliminate the high-frequency, unpredictable noises of the outside world. Sirens, traffic, construction, which our brains interpret as potential threats, keeping our vigilance systems on high alert. The tactile world is just as critical. We are surrounded by material textures that absorb rather than reflect. This applies to both sound and light. Matte finishes, unsealed woods, and plush fabrics like velvet or boucle trap sound waves, reducing echo and creating a sense of quiet intimacy. Visually, these non-reflective surfaces prevent the harsh glare that causes our pupils to constrict and our eye muscles to strain, another subtle source of physiological stress. This contributes to the creation of low-contrast visual fields. The brain is a pattern recognition machine, constantly scanning for edges, threats, and points of interest. Environments filled with jarring colours, sharp angles, and cluttered surfaces demand significant cognitive resources to process. In contrast, a space designed with soft, analogous colours, curved forms, and uncluttered sightlines allows the visual cortex to relax. Individually, these elements are subtle, but together these cues reduce vigilance. The nervous system, no longer bombarded by threatening or overly stimulating signals, begins to down-regulate. The body relaxes, heart rate slows, blood pressure drops, and breathing deepens. The mind stabilizes. The frantic internal monologue quiets down, and a sense of expansive calm takes its place. And when your nervous system feels fundamentally safe, a powerful cognitive shift occurs. You don't consciously register the acoustic engineering or the Kelvin temperature of the lights. Instead, you experience a holistic feeling of well-being. And you attribute that profound sense of calm, not to the invisible engineering, but to the inherent quality of the environment itself. This is the ultimate sleight of hand in luxury design, making effort feel effortless and engineering feel innate. Elite versus standard design. Standard hospitality prioritizes efficiency. Luxury prioritizes psychological precision. Standard, self-check-in kiosks. Luxury, staff-guided discretion. Standard, visible automation. Luxury, invisible orchestration. Standard, consistency. Luxury, calibration. This difference creates loyalty rates up to 40% higher in elite properties, because people return to environments that preserve mental energy, signaling through seamlessness. Visible effort can signal amateurism. Trying too hard feels insecure. Seamlessness feels powerful. In elite social hierarchies, effortlessness signals abundance, time abundance, resource abundance, emotional abundance. Luxury mirrors this psychology. It hides complexity, because complexity resolved invisibly implies mastery. The hidden equation. Luxury is not about adding more. It is about removing friction, reducing decision load, preserving executive function, stabilizing the nervous system. When an experience requires nothing from you, it feels refined, not because it dazzles, but because it respects your cognitive limits. Final reflection. Effortless luxury is not accidental elegance. It is engineered calm, invisible systems, anticipatory design, friction reduction, processing fluency. When everything just works, your brain interprets that as competence. And competence, executed without noise, feels like refinement. That is why true luxury rarely announces itself. It simply removes obstacles and lets you move through the world without resistance.